Hey there, everybody. Joanna Smith here in the house with the How Powerful Women Excel podcast. So excited to be joined by some lifelong friends of mine, the one and only Cari hailing all the way from Maryland. Be more in the house, okay? And then we have her beautiful daughter here. What's your name?
Regan.
How old are you, Regan?
I'm 13.
Well, thank you so much for being here to support your mom. All right, so Cari is so amazing. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself, what she does, and what she has coming on to help powerful women, even at a very young age of 13 and up excel. So, Cari, take it away.
All right, so I am a middle school English teacher by trade, and I'm also a reading specialist. So I study how learning works with reading and teaching reading. And I was working with an organization called, what it started as Raising Strong Readers. And in our meetings and in our different work with the people that we were working with to get it off the ground, the story constantly came up about, let me back up. My goddaughter was finishing up a trial for the perpetrator that had molested her. And in our conversations, that kept coming up. Like, they're like, oh, how are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm worried about my goddaughter. And, we were having different conversations. And it kept coming up. All of us had been touched by this pervasive thing, sexual assault and molestation. And the organization transformed from Raising Strong Readers to Her Story. And Her Story is designed to help young women who have been impacted by sexual assault or molestation process their trauma and then tell their story. There is a power in telling your story. At the end of each cohort, we haven't done our first cohort yet. We're still in the process of doing it. But at the end of each cohort, there will be an anthology of their stories. Some will be anonymous, and some might be emboldened to share their name, but we will have an anthology. They will be published writers. And every cohort will have this product that they created with their story. They were able to let that go. So Her Story gives voice to those who may have felt that their voice was taken, and emboldens them through their recovery and their transformation.
Wow. So when is it scheduled to start?
So the goal is to have it start by June.
June of 2024.
June of 2024.
Okay.
And we'll have our first cohort. It is based in Baltimore, Maryland. So we'll be working first in the neighborhoods around Morgan State University.
Hey, I'm a shout.
Waverly, and the Greenmount area. So those areas will be our first areas for our recruitment for the cohort, and then we'll move obviously to other neighborhoods as well. But initially, that's our small area that we're starting with. And our goal, we're actually in talks with Enoch Pratt Free Library right now as a partnership. We'll be using their space to hold our groups.
Wow. And so what age range are you looking at working with?
So we're doing 12 to 17.
Okay.
So basically adolescents.
Okay.
We're not right now prepared to do anything.
Right.
But we definitely want to get that middle school, high school group together as they are preparing to, really transition into womanhood and let, become women as healed women.
Right. So how many students are you looking at impacting? Like, is it like 100,000?
Okay, well, I mean, we would love to do that, but we're going to start really small. We're going to do a cohort of 10. Our first cohort will be of 10. So that way we have a capacity. One, because when you're telling your story, especially something this close to you, we want to have an intimate circle. We want to make sure that, what happens in circle stays in circle. The women who are going to be a part of it, all of us have been impacted, so we're going to tell our stories as well. And so we want them to know that, hey, you're being heard. Some of us, like myself, are still going through their healing process. So, hey, there's all these stages. And it's not this linear line. Some days are worse than others. Some days you're back in, the trauma, or you relive, or you remember something, you smell something, you see something, and you relive that memory. So just letting them know they're not alone, that there's women like myself who are 39 who are still
moving through that process, right?
Moving through the process. So just letting them know that, there's someone there and that they too can get to the other side of it.
Thank you. And last question. So, I know this is a very big project, especially emotionally. So, do we have people on staff that are able to attend to the emotional needs of students?
Yes. So we have a social worker that is coming on board that will be doing a therapeutic portion of it. We have someone who's going to do yoga to help them process and even give them coping skills through breathing, through meditation that they can use if if something does come up while they're writing. They're going to be literally creating a journal with their own hands to be able to write out their thoughts and their ideas, and something that's literally theirs that they've created, that no one else has done, but it's theirs. So we have we've been very methodical in our planning with step by step to make sure that it's a safe space for them.
And Regan, how about you? What are your thoughts on writing? On how do you express yourself, in this realm at all?
There's different ways I express myself. I express myself through fashion, through writing, through reading, what I read and what I write.
What do you read?
And art.
And art. You're an artist as well?
I love to draw. I love to draw the things around me, and I love to draw stuff like how I feel, like some of my emotions that I can't exactly say, and I like to draw them.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Cari, Regan, the Nantons, all the way from
Holmes.
The home. Oh, thank you. Sorry. The Holmes. Let me fix that. Forgive me. Look, life is always changing. Okay, the Holmes. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that you two are writing your own story. Okay. People always say you never know the story behind my glory. Okay. So there's always some pain points there. Something traumatic that we all can relate to. That's really helping us to move to the next level, even though it doesn't feel like it's. I remember Oprah, and I always said this line again. She said, there are things in life that have been done to you, but you don't have to look at it that way. The other side of that, right, because we know that if something good is happening, something bad can also potentially be happening. So there are always sides to something. So something might feel like it's being done to you, but it can also be done for you, right? So that on the other side of that pain, you're also receiving that strength, that knowledge, that coping mechanism, the resources, as Cari has spoken about, and the expression, as Regan has spoken about, to move to the next level and also to impact and change the lives of other people around you. So I'm so grateful that you joined in and tuned in today. Cari, thank you so much for sharing. We look forward to hearing a little bit more about your not-for-profit work and the for-profit work, what you're doing. And just the businesses, we are big on entrepreneurship, and these ladies who are going to be writing this anthology, I'm sure when they have to also purchase or sell their books, they will also be able to tap into that side as well, which is also a very powerful side of self-empowerment with this specific story in mind. So thank you for sharing, and we look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Bye! All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Miss Regan. I remember trying to remember who drew a picture for Granny with the glasses.
She did the poem.
Okay.
She wrote the poem, and then Layla did the picture.
You know which one I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, Layla did the picture. Yep. Layla did the picture, and she wrote the poem.